You're tuned into another episode of The Locker Room alongside Jack Sullivan. I am Sam Pearson. Boy, Jack, it's been a week in sports. It's going to be an even better week in sports. We got a lot of things coming up. LeBron's about to become the leading scorer of all time. Could be tonight, could be Thursday. We don't know. Kyrie Irving we'll get into later. The huge blockbuster trades in the NBA and more trades that could happen before the deadline. But first, Jack, we got to get into the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 57 is this Sunday. And we got Eagles-Chiefs. And I think it's a very, very intriguing matchup on almost every level and at every position. How are we feeling going into the game, Jack?
I'm indifferent is definitely the best word, but I think we're going to see one of the best offensive Super Bowls we've seen in a while. We were blessed to see Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford go at it last year. But now we're going to see that you mentioned last week, and that has been all over sports everywhere. We're going to see two black quarterbacks go at it. We're going to see Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes go at it. Mahomes has some time to heal that ankle, so he'll be better than he was last week. So I'm excited to see those two go at it. I'm excited to see the Kelsey brothers. Love that dynamic going on. I love Mama Kelsey getting involved, going on their New Heights podcast. I think that's just great. Yeah. And I'm excited to see a lot of guys, walk the walk instead of just talk the talk. That's a lot of the time where the Super Bowl is like, who's talking this? Like for the Bengals, it was Eli Apple talking a lot of the talk. And obviously they couldn't walk the walk. But that's not to say they didn't do well this season. But one of the things that intrigued me was Julian Love of the Giants' comment saying Nick Sirianni wasn't the reason they got there. They can't give him any credit. So where is the credit going to come from? Is it going to be from Nick Sirianni in the Super Bowl? Is it going to be his play call? Is it going to be the pure talent of the Eagles that wins of this thing? Is it going to be that what lose them that? Because you see, Nick Sirianni can't coach him. It's just a pure talent. What can you do in the Super Bowl against a heavily experienced Andy Reid? And that's where I think it's going to be is awesome. There's a lot of storylines going into this one. There's not just one. It's like last time was Rams Bengals. It was Burrow versus Steph. Let's see what we got. But there's a lot of storylines going into this one.
I definitely agree that there's a lot of storylines. I love the Kelsey thing. I mean, the only thing that could be better than two brothers going head-to-head would be two brothers on the same team. Of course, that would be monumental. But I loved it at the Super Bowl opening night last night. Mama Kelsey surprised them on stage, brought them both cookies with white chocolate and regular chocolate chip cookies, I guess, to represent the two brothers, because we know who's white chocolate, who's dark chocolate. I mean, they're brothers, but they couldn't be more different. So I love it. All the storylines, Jalen Hurts versus Mahomes, the two black quarterbacks, the two top candidates for MVP are getting ready to go at it. And no matter who wins the MVP, which will likely be Pat Mahomes because Jalen Hurts missed time, I still think it would have been Pat no matter what, but it was close. This is what it's for. It doesn't matter who takes home that trophy. It matters who takes home this Super Bowl trophy. I'm very intrigued to see how these matchups pan out because the Chiefs have a good old line. The Eagles have one of the best defensive lines in history statistically. They're third all time in sacks in a single season. So Hassan Reddick has been playing out of his mind, second in the NFL in sacks this year. And we saw what he did in the 49ers game. The Eagles get home with 4. And when you can get home with 4 and drop everybody else back in coverage, that's when Mahomes can have problems because you can double team Travis and everybody else can kind of get in where they fit in. I think the Eagles defense matches up very well with the Chiefs offense. I think if Pat Mahomes wasn't the quarterback, a lot of people would be picking the Eagles more, but he's Pat Mahomes and I get it. But that defensive line is hunting. They won't be able to really run the ball on them. And they're going to be able to get after Mahomes and get him down. They have athletes. Hassan Reddick, he can't just run away from Hassan Reddick all day. Hassan Reddick is very fast. This defense is well-rounded, and they can cover. Because think about this. They're going to double-team Travis Kelce when they're in man. And Darius Slay is on Valdez-Scantling. There's no McCole Hardman. So you got Kadarius Toney and Juju Smith-Schuster. The Eagles match up very well with that. Bradbury meet Toney. Darius Slay meet Valdez-Scantling. Double team on Kelce. Who's he going to throw to? I mean, they're deep. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on the second tight end. Gray, who's pretty good as well. And so that's why I say, like, stylistically, this is going to be amazing. And then the Chiefs, on the other hand, the Chiefs' defensive line is their strength. It's really good. Their secondary isn't that good and they're young. And they're, as good as their defensive line is, this is the best offensive line in football, who just went against the best defense in football and wore them down. So do I think the Chiefs' defensive line can maybe stop the run to start the game? Okay, I'll give you that. But I don't know if they can do it for 4 quarters. And I don't think those DBs can cover the Eagles' weapons. I know Hurts has missed. He hasn't had to throw for a lot. But I think this is the game where Hurts passing gets unleashed. So those matchups, Jack, that's why L'Jarius Sneed's going to have to match up with A.J. Brown. I don't think anybody can cover A.J. Brown one-on-one. I think that's barbecue chicken. Spagnuolo likes to blitz. Spagnuolo likes to blitz. He likes to bring the pressure. There's no better O-line at picking up pressure in the National Football League. Lane Johnson don't give up sacks. Chris Jones, meet Jason Kelce. You're not just going to be flying back there like it's the Bengals. And if the Chiefs defense doesn't get home, they are a very mid defense if they don't get home. And I think that can cause trouble. And that's why I'm very intrigued to see how these matchups go once the lights are the brightest and all the talk is done and all the dust settles and they battle. I'm very curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, and in the Super Bowl, anytime touchdowns, I feel like there's 3 people that will anytime touchdowns bring it to the slip. Okay, Isaiah Pacheco, he scores.
Okay,
Devontae Smith scores. Dallas Goedert scores. That's my 3.
I'm not mad at that.
Automatically, it's going to be a great offensive game, but that's my 3. It's Pacheco, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Now, when you guys win your millions, you come to me. Now, if you lose it, don't come at me. I don't do this for a living. You can't just do that. You can't just come at a man that doesn't win all the time. I'm just giving out my predictions. If you take it, you take it. If you don't, that's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
See me, I will go Miles Sanders for sure. The Eagles are going to run the ball in. I will go Miles Sanders.
4-bet slip.
Miles Sanders in Hurts and Kelce is what I would go with. Is who I would go with. Because I think no matter what, for the Chiefs to even be in this game, Kelce got to touch that paint. And that's what I believe. I think we're in for a great game, Jack. I'll go ahead and give my prediction first. I think the Eagles win. I think the Eagles win this football game because they are better up front on both sides of the football. They have better receivers. The only thing I can definitively say the Chiefs have better is quarterback because Mahomes is the best quarterback, and they have the better tight end. Everything else goes to the Eagles: defensive backs, linebackers, defensive line, offensive line, running backs. My eyes don't lie to me. I think the Eagles are the best team put from top to bottom. And I think they win from about maybe 4 or 7 points. I will go final score. I think they're going to score points. It's not going to be crazy high scoring, though. I will go maybe 27-21. Philly.
Okay. I'm gonna say Chiefs.
Okay.
30-27.
Okay.
I
it's
like
a tough game to pick.
It's a tough one. And you said on paper, the Eagles got it, man.
Yeah.
I look at it as Mahomes has been in this position before.
Yes.
He's had the worst types of games, and he's had some good games. I think it's time for him to really settle himself in that top 10 of all time list this weekend. I think he's pretty much already there. I think with this win and with the game he's going to have and battling an injury, I think he really puts himself on the podium there and really gives it. I think I'm not going to say he's going to tear apart this Eagles defense. I think they're going to figure it out. Andy Reid has got something up his sleeve always. So I'm excited to see that. But I will say I'll go down on the Locker Room podcast today and say Chiefs win 30-27.
Okay. I think this is a very tough game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. It could very well be whoever has the ball last wins it. So tune into the Super Bowl, everybody. I think it's going to be a classic. This is going to be, like last year, a completely great Super Bowl from start to finish. Jack, it's time for our favorite segment. Hit it.
Hey, yo, what the?
This has been one of the craziest weeks in college basketball I've seen. And that is my AO, is the unpredictable nature of college basketball this season. Not every year can you say there are 16 champions, right? There is no one team that you're like, dang, that team's got to win it all, right?
Yeah.
There's no, Kansas last year was like good all year, and nobody wanted to pick them to win it all, but they had the talent
because they always fell short.
In the past, absolutely, you are absolutely correct. What I think with this year is, first of all, North Carolina has been pissing me off so much because they brought back most of their starters, and I didn't know Brady Manick was that much of a glue guy that kept everyone together. Yeah. That when you bring back 4 starters, the team can't even win a game against a really underwhelming Duke team.
I don't even know if it's that. I think they started smelling themselves too much. I think they peaked too early under the new coach, and they didn't come in. They don't have the right mindset. They're not hungry like they were last year.
Yeah, I hope that switches around in these last, in February and March, where it's super important for those wins. And just this week alone, Indiana beating Purdue, Kansas losing one, and winning against Texas last night. Houston losing a couple weeks ago. It's just everywhere I look, a team is going down. I think it's fun for college basketball, but it's also, if you are like, dang, like, who is the best player? If you're an analyst, you can't break down who the best team is right now. I think Tennessee is up there. And you were like, and in general, like, Gonzaga is falling off. Like, they are, to me, every year, if you're going to lose to St. Mary's, the script for college basketball is written, and it's like every year Gonzaga looks at the script and they're like, oh, shit, we got to play St. Mary's again. Oh, we got to lose again. That's just the way it is. And I think that's my AO, is like the script for college basketball, as they've been saying for the script for the NFL or the script for NBA. Script for college basketball. It's like, oh my God, when are we going to have a consistent basis of wins here? So I hope to see more consistency of one team sooner or later, so that maybe when college basketball runs around, or when March Madness is like, hey, we need you to pick your team, I can actually pick one. Because right now, I don't know who I'd pick. I would say if Tennessee was a 1 seed, I'd pick them to go pretty far. But other than that, everything else is so unpredictable.
I agree, but I think that's what's going to make college basketball in this NCAA tournament as best as it's ever been. There's no clear cuts. There's going to be upsets all around. I think it's phenomenal. There's so much parity. There's no more whoever has all the best recruits. No, that's kind of done with.
No more Kentucky.
No more Kentucky. John Calipari is washed, but that's another conversation for a different day. Ain't been good in years. And he still gets recruits. They just have not been good in years. With Kentucky good. But college basketball is insane right now. I'm going to stay with basketball, but I'm going to go with the NBA. And this ties into where we're going next. LeBron's tweet, "Is it me?" LeBron is hilarious. He's one of the most overly dramatic stars I know. Bronsexuals, which are his fans, are the most dramatic people I know. They want to make LeBron a victim because he faces criticism as the best player of this generation. Without a doubt, have him as the second best player of all time. Even though I don't really like comparing players from different eras, because they didn't get to match up with each other and they were different NBAs. But if you make me choose, he's the second best. Boo-hoo. Bronsexuals acts like that's so offensive. I don't understand why go out and tweet that. I know the Lakers didn't land Kyrie, but I was just like, come on, bro. I'm like, what the I don't think there's a need to say that, especially when all the reports came out. It's like the Nets didn't even, want to give Kyrie what he wanted, get him to the Lakers. So he's just dramatic sometimes, and he doesn't need to be. He's too great to be as dramatic as he truly is sometimes. But that's my AO is LeBron. But let's get into it, Jack, because we've already began talking about it now. Kyrie to the Dallas Mavericks. It's just so funny to me because a while before the season started and everybody's talking about the Kyrie talks and it's going to be his last year with the Nets, I said he would likely sign with the Mavericks. We were talking at ESPN Radio. I said Mark Cuban is desperate to get somebody for Luka, and who else is available? I said when Kyrie's a free agent, the Mavs are going to give him the max. This is before the Jewish comments and everything like that. I said, and yeah, he's desperate to get Luka a star. I didn't expect Kyrie to request a trade right when he's playing at his best. I guess he said my value is as high as it can be. I like this trade for Dallas. I think they become the best backcourt in basketball for sure. They play ISO basketball anyway, and now it doesn't have to just be Luka. And if it's up to Luka, see, people forget that Luka doesn't want to drop 40 every game. He does not. He likes to assist. If it's up to Luka, he's a high 20s, 15, 17 assists. That's what he'd much rather do. And now you can save Luka. They won't burn him out. I think this is a phenomenal trade. And I don't think the Mavs are done. They'll add another piece or two on the wing to play defense. But I think I like this trade for Dallas. And for Brooklyn, I think they got a good return back. And I don't think they're done as well. There's a lot of things that can still happen in this week that can go either way. But Jack, this trade was exciting.
Yeah, I think for the Mavericks, you look at last year, they made it to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson and Luka doing a heavy load. Now you got a better offensive mind in Kyrie Irving. So the offensive end is
better player, period. Jalen Brunson.
Oh no, it's not even a question. I think when it comes to the Western Conference Finals, like they could have used way more offense, and Kyrie could be that answer for them. Do I think they get to that position again? I don't know.
The West is so wide open. The West is wild.
It's just so, pun intended. It's wild. It's
the Wild Wild West.
Yes, and I think
they could. No.
They could. I don't know.
They could lose in the first round and get to the finals. They could do both. I swear to God, they could do. It's the West.
They could do whatever happen. Like, it's just so weird. I think you're on the money though with the wing defender. I was gonna say that getting rid of Dorian Finney-Smith was
that's the blow.
That's a blow because he was a really good defender. So I think they need to find another wing defender to add on to that, and they will. They'll do what they got to do. The trade deadline's approaching, so that means a lot more moves are going to happen. For the Nets side of things, I think it's so funny that the owner was like, "We don't want to send him anywhere else." Like,
we're not going to send him where he wants to go.
We don't.
But
yeah.
Why would you? Why would you? I don't blame that owner.
I think it's so funny.
It's petty.
They're like, "Hey, you want to? We hear the rumors. We know what you want. We're sending you to Dallas."
I'm all for petty. I'm all for pettiness.
Because they've had to put up with so much in the past 2 years, how many years?
Yeah.
And now all this, that also was out of nowhere. And we've talked about how the Nets have been figuring it out offensively. They're meshing, and then all of a sudden he requested trade. It was kind of weird to me. It was just kind of weird to me. Now they're going to fall off. The one thing that has been crazy the past couple of games is the emergence of Cam Thomas, though.
Yes.
They've left some room for him to cook. Now,
I don't know
where the hell he's been. I know when he comes in the game, he's a good spark. But I think when you give him the floor, go to work. Absolutely. He's a scorer.
Yeah.
He has a little bit to do on the defensive end, but oh my God.
It's okay. I mean, I think he's phenomenal. And I think he's going to be a big reason why they're comfortable with this trade. For sure, Jack. I can't agree.
A lot of pieces that you weren't able to see because they ran it through Kyrie and KD, and now it's going to be KD and other people to run it through. I think it's going to be a new look Nets, and I think they're still going to be okay.
I think they'll still be good.
A little bit.
They won't be the third seed anymore without Kyrie. But I think they can be fifth, fourth or fifth. I think they'll fall in that range. They still have Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant is right and how he's been playing this season, he's still phenomenal. He's still one of the best players in the world. The trade deadline is not over till Thursday.
Nope.
There's a couple moves that I think the Nets will be interested in. One, I think the Nets are going to go get OG Anunoby. They have the assets, and they have those type of things. They're going to go get OG. I think that's going to happen. And that's going to shore up some more defense. And I think they may go get a rotational big as well. We'll see. And for the Mavs, Jack, Jay Crowder. They're going to go get Jay Crowder from Phoenix.
Yeah, he'll make his return.
He is a perfect role player on a championship team. He can get high, he hits threes, and he plays good defense. That's exactly what they need on the wing. I think they're going to go get Jay Crowder.
Yeah, I was going to say for the Mavericks, it's probably going to be like a Jay Crowder, Robert Covington kind of guy. Basically the same player. So I think you're on the money on that one. Just going a little bit biased just because from what I saw. I got to go to the Heat Knicks game. And from what I saw from Miami, they had to get rid of Dwayne Dedmon. They just did that 5 minutes ago. He's going to the Spurs for a second round pick.
Okay.
So I mean that's whatever. They need to get rid of Lowry. They need to get.
I've been telling you, he stinks. He stinks.
They need to get rid of Duncan Robinson's contract. Nobody wants that. But nobody
wants him.
They just need a big man, and they like either a backup big or a power forward or a wing like a big wing defender like Jared Vanderbilt or
Jared Vanderbilt is a big one. Watch him in Brooklyn as well.
Yeah, I think those like that's a guy who would fit Miami's system perfectly. Like that's a team that is around this time needs to make a big trade. They can't stick with the guys they got. They are winning some games, but they can't stick with what they have. So that's one team with that, and we've saw the Nets have done that already. That was going to be the other team. A one that is kind of sneaky. The Warriors. They might have some interesting trades to make. James Wiseman requested a trade. What do you get for that? A former second round pick? They're not going to get a lot
for your former second overall pick, but I like that he requested a trade because he needs somewhere where he can flourish. See, to be that young and go into a championship now team and you're like barely like you're rotational and you got hurt, it's been a series of unfortunate events for him. He needs a fresh start because I think he is talented. Don't get me wrong.
I could see him going to like the Rockets or something, honestly.
I could see him going to Brooklyn.
Oh, Lord. You might be right. That's crazy.
They need a big. They need a big. Nick Claxton has improved. He's going to be in a big lead for most improved. But you add Wiseman to back him up, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like the way you put it. That's a dangerous center duo.
He's a dangerous center duo. He's a versatile center. He fits, He can shoot. He can do things. It's gonna be pretty. I like it. I like that fit. Oh man, it's gonna be some great.
See, this is my favorite. One of my favorite times of the year, along with like free agency, because you're just like, no way they would do that. Oh my god, they're gonna do that. This time of year shocks you so much because everyone's just ready to throw it in. Everyone wants a win.
Yeah.
They need something differently. I feel like the Pistons are gonna have Sadiq Bey. I feel like Sadiq Bey is another guy that can go to the Nets. I feel like Sadiq Bey is another guy that can go somewhere else and make an impact instantly.
Yes. The Clippers are buyers right now too. They're trying to get rid of Terrence Mann. They got too many pretty good guys who could be. I think maybe one or two of those guys could find themselves somewhere else. Maybe LA. LA is in big talks with Utah right now.
Yeah.
To get Conley, Malik Beasley, and a few other guys for Russ and those picks because they're ready. They've been ready to move on from Russ, and I think that's their only chance is Utah.
Yeah, especially now with that being over. I would say Miami and the Lakers could do a 3-teamer with Utah. I wouldn't love this trade, but I would say like something like Lowry to the Jazz. It's kind of like a rotation of point
guards.
The Jazz
will take all the old players. Yeah, Jazz will take all the old players.
Jazz will take Lowry.
They're tanking.
Conley will go to the Lakers. And Russ goes to Miami. I wouldn't be the biggest fan of that. I also
his attitude kind of fits Miami.
Yeah, I just don't know his system. They're a run and gun team, They're a great grind, but run and gun.
But he likes to run and gun though.
Yeah, but he also likes to
run and guns too much.
But he likes to gun it from 30 feet when he doesn't. He can't. So that's where I'm like, oh, whatever.
It is what it is. Pat Riley alert. Pat Riley don't care who you are. If anybody can get him to play at his best, it's Pat. And Eric, who's one of the best coaches in the league.
I see now. I'm thinking about it. Like maybe Russ isn't a terrible idea, and then Duncan
Better
probably
fit for you guys.
Yeah, see, and then with that trade, we would get Vanderbilt from the Jazz, and then the Lakers would get either Robinson or another
They
shooter.
would probably take Duncan. They need shooting. They're gonna take Conley. They're gonna take Malik Beasley, and depending on who else. The Lakers really want Bogdan. They want one of the Bogdanoviches. They want one of them.
One of them.
Whether it's they want one of them. They need shooting. Because they need if they get shooting and get rid of Russ and AD stays healthy, the West is wide open. So they're still live. They're like what 3 games back of the 6th seed. They're still live.
Yeah, it's still like you could either like in 3 games you could either miss the playoffs or be in the 6th seed. It's ridiculous.
Which is insane. That's insane.
It's nuts.
Jack, it's that time.
It's time for Hit the Showers on the Locker Room Podcast.
Time to hit the showers. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Jack Sullivan's idea. I loved it. It brought up a lot of fond memories. Your favorite sports movies. Jack, I'll let you go first.
Yeah.
What is your favorite sports movie?
So this idea came of talking about Rudy last night. As you see, big Notre Dame fan, dad loves Rudy. Rudy. I introduced my girlfriend to Rudy
last night. Him.
Who? Don't tell me that. But like here's the thing. All right, so before I get to my before I get to my favorite sports movie, like the more I watched Rudy now, like it just made me think like imagine that kid coming up like in a locker room now, you'd be like, get out of here.
Never will happen.
If you had half the heart Rudy did, Coach, he's 5-0 and annoying as hell. Get him out. We don't need him. We are Notre freaking Dame. Like, hey, Coach, I'm going to play for. Imagine like Marcus Freeman hearing this. Coach, I'm going to play for you someday. You got tape?
You ain't.
No, sir. I don't got a tape, but I was the leading tackler of a no-name school in Chicago. All right. Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I think the community college needs something. Coach, I'm going to play for you. I'm going to play for you. What are you talking about?
No, like, you ain't.
But like it was, it's still an inspiring movie, and obviously it's based on a true story, so it makes it better. So this is one of the hardest things. Here's 2. I would say these 2 are up there for favorite movies. Coach Carter, I would have to say, is my favorite one.
Very good one.
Coach Carter is inspirational. The acting is great. The story itself is phenomenal. Samuel L. Jackson portrays his character amazing, and the basketball is fun to watch.
Yeah.
The other movie I really liked growing up and in high school before basketball tryouts, I would watch Glory Road every single time before tryouts.
Yes, that's a good one.
Loved the story in that, and I just like how you feel for those characters without even being there.
Yeah.
Just the story itself, and it really was inspiring, and I loved watching like Billy Joe play with the around the backs, and like that was a really fun movie to watch before tryouts.
Those are some good movies. There's so many. It's really tough for me. Friday Night Lights has to be up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
God, the show in the movie, but the movie was phenomenal. Booby Mile. Like that was right here. Here. So I gotta say my top 3 it's gotta be Friday Night Lights has to be in there. I don't know if it's 3 or 2. Then I have man, it's so why are you doing it to me? It's so hard to choose. Oh my God. Friday Night Lights is for sure up there. My number 1. Well, I'll go my number 2 or 3. Brian's song. Every man has cried during Brian's song. That's a throwback. I watched that movie in school as a kid, man, and that made me cry. I'm not gonna lie to you. Brian's song, honorable mentions, Any Given Sunday. Come on now, like there's some phenomenal ones, but my number 1 is Remember the Titans. Mm-hmm. It will always be Remember the Titans. You want to talk about team? What team? Like, oh my God, that movie tugs on the heartstrings, tugs on your emotion, like tugs on your anger, your emotions. I think it encompassed everything. It brought people together. Denzel goddamn Washington. I mean, there's some great Wood Harris. There's some great people in that movie. I think it's phenomenal. I gotta go. Remember the Titans as my numero uno. A lot of ones right up there near it, but remember the Titans.
Who's playing you in your documentary?
Who's playing me? Somebody.
Who's playing you?
Dang, that's a tough one. Probably
Kenan Thompson.
I hate you. Let's see. Who can play you? Maybe if like Jonah Hill loses a lot of weight again, maybe he can play you. You know what I'm saying? He gets up and down. It could be Jonah Hill. I don't know. It could be Pete Davidson. I don't know who's gonna play you.
Pete Davidson played me in a movie, that'd be fantastic.
That's pretty
Imagine
fire.
Pete Davidson and Kenan Thompson on the Locker Room podcast. That right there is an episode.